Balloon 1-4, Introduction to Balloon Flight Training. So let's break down the eligibility requirements for flying a balloon at different levels. First off, to fly a balloon solo, you've got to be at least 14 years old and show that you know your stuff by acing a test set up by a flight instructor. And it's not just theory, you've got to log training for the maneuvers and procedures laid out in 14 CFR Part 61 that match the specific make and model of the balloon you're planning to fly. Only after ticking all these boxes can a flight instructor give you the green light for solo flight. Now, if you're aiming for a sport pilot certificate with a balloon endorsement, the age bar goes up to 16. You've got to complete the training and flight time requirements laid out in 14 CFR Part 61, pass a knowledge test, and nail a practical test. This certificate gives you the go-ahead to pilot a balloon with a maximum takeoff gross weight of 320 pounds or less. Of course, you've got to show you're proficient and can handle the balloon safely. Moving up the ladder, if you're eyeing a private pilot certificate with a balloon rating, you need to be at least 16 years old. The training and flight time requirements, knowledge test, and practical test are all part of the deal. With this certificate, you can carry passengers, but no cash is coming your way for the ride. The Federal Aviation Administration has set out specific aeronautical knowledge and flight proficiency that you must demonstrate, covering everything from regulations and weather to aerodynamics and decision-making. When it comes to aeronautical knowledge for a private pilot, you need to cover a wide range of topics, including regulations, accident reporting, use of manuals and circulars, navigation, radio communication, weather, aircraft operation, aerodynamics, and decision-making, among other things. On the flight proficiency side, for a balloon rating, you've got to tackle pre-flight prep, procedures, airport operations, launches and landings, performance maneuvers, navigation, emergency operations, and post-flight procedures. Now, if you're dreaming of going commercial with your balloon flying, you've got to be 18 years old. The requirements include specific training, knowledge tests, and another practical test. The aeronautical knowledge and flight proficiency expectations are taken up a notch, demonstrating a higher level of skill and understanding. So there you have it, a step-by-step guide to leveling up your balloon flying credentials. It's not just about the age, it's about showing you've got the knowledge and skills to navigate the skies safely. All right, now let's delve into the nitty-gritty of what it takes to become a commercial pilot with a balloon rating. It's not just about flying, it's about knowing your stuff. So for the aeronautical knowledge part, you've got to receive training or complete a home study course on various areas. These include the Federal Aviation Regulations related to commercial pilot privileges, accident reporting requirements, aerodynamics, meteorology, aircraft operation, weight and balance computations, use of performance charts, and a whole lot more. You need to understand the ins and outs of flying, from recognizing critical weather situations to mastering night and high-altitude operations. Moving on to flight proficiency, it's not just about logging flight hours, it's about getting the right training. You've got to receive both ground and flight training on specific areas of operation. For those eyeing a lighter-than-air category rating with a balloon class rating, this includes fundamentals of instructing, technical subjects, pre-flight preparation procedures, airport operations, launches and landings, performance maneuvers, navigation, emergency operations, and post-flight procedures. Now here's an interesting twist. If you're already holding a pilot's certificate for a powered aircraft and want to add a balloon category rating, you catch a bit of a break. You're exempt from the knowledge test, but you've still got to complete the flight training and pass the practical test. And here's something worth noting. Certificated balloon pilots don't need an airman medical certificate to operate a balloon within the United States. However, if you're planning flights in foreign countries, that's a different story. International Civil Aviation Organization regulations usually require a medical certificate. For those private pilots aiming for a commercial pilot certificate, you're looking at an additional 10 hours of flight training as per 14 CFR Part 61. But hold on, you can't count flight time logged as instructional time toward your initial certification towards that 10-hour requirement for the commercial rating. Just a little regulatory detail to keep in mind. So becoming a commercial pilot with a balloon rating is not just about clocking in the flight hours, it's about mastering the knowledge and skills needed to navigate the skies with expertise. Now let's dive into the world of integrated airman certification and/or rating application. This online application system is a game changer in the certification process, allowing for the issuance of student, private, and commercial certificates without drowning in paperwork. The beauty of IACRA lies in its electronic signatures, making the entire application and approval process a breeze. To get started, an applicant needs to register on the Integrated Airman Certification and/or Rating Application website at http or acra.faa.gov or IACRA, or this results in the issuance of a Federal Aviation Administration tracking number, a golden ticket for all future interactions with the system. Hold on to that number because it's your key for future reference and action. Once all training requirements are met, the student pilot, which includes both the student applying for a private certificate and the private pilot upgrading to the commercial certificate, kicks off the application process through the Integrated Airman Certification and/or Rating Application website. The Federal Aviation Administration Form 8710-1 is completed online in several steps. After completion, the form is sent to the central server at the Federal Aviation Administration Airman Certification Branch in Oklahoma City. If the form gets the nod at the server, the applicant receives an application ID number for future reference. Now enter the instructor, the unsung hero in this process. Having enrolled in the Integrated Airman Certification and/or Rating Application System as a recommending instructor, they use the applicant's FTN to retrieve and review the application. The instructor also attaches the results of the student's written test to the Integrated Airman Certification and/or Rating Application file, utilizing the exam ID typically found in the upper right portion of the printed results. Once the recommending instructor gives the green light and the results are attached, the application heads back to the central server at the Airman Certification Branch. When the time is right, the examiner steps into the scene. They retrieve the applicant's application from the central server, verify the individual's identification, and conduct the practical test. Integrated Airman Certification and/or Rating Application has its bases covered, providing options for issuing a temporary airman's certificate, giving a notice of discontinuance, or, in unfortunate cases, a notice of disapproval. After the evaluation is wrapped up and the examiner has done their processing magic, the file heads back to the Airman Certification Branch. If all goes well, the permanent certificate is prepared and sent to the pilot. In a nutshell, this chapter provides a bird's-eye view of the Federal Aviation Administration, the crucial roles of flight instructors and designated pilot examiners in the certification of lighter-than-air pilots, and the regulatory requirements for ground and aeronautical training. Flight safety practices and aeronautical decision-making are also touched upon, serving as a solid foundation. While this overview isn't exhaustive, it's a good starting point, and students are encouraged to explore additional materials published by the Federal Aviation Administration and other organizations for a deeper understanding.